Hello, precious people. I'm back again with another segment from the esoteric perspective. I'm none other than your host, and let's just get right into it. Today is a very, very interesting yet serious topic that I would like to bring on to us today. And this is dealing with another killer of people and of mankind. Something that is very dangerous. Very dangerous. And it's something that is very, very sneaky. It reminds me of a snake in the grass. It reminds me of an airborne disease that none can see. This very thing is called pride. This very thing is called pride. This very thing is called pride. Pride is an interesting state of being. And the reason why I say state of being, it had to come from somewhere first. And I believe that pride came or comes as a result of of being in a place of insecurity or insufficiency. Even to a certain degree, from a place of pain. Now let's get into insecurity. What is insecurity? Insecurity is simply being not able to be secure in your being. There's a certain level of anxiety, a certain level of fear when one is insecure. There's an instability, an inability to be stable in their thinking and even in their thought process. There's a lack of groundness. What does it mean to be ground? To be down to earth, to be practical, to be confident in your being. All of these things will be considered a form of insecurity. And when insecurity is not met, it's not checked, it can easily evolve to pride. And there's a great statement saying that pride comes before the fall. But it starts somewhere first. And there's ways to get there. And one of the ways is through insecurity. Another one is through pride. And it's just pain. Another way to get to pride is through pain, through the pain that you go through. And this is a pain that has never been healed. This is a pain that has never been healed. And I really feel a download of a bunch of wonderful information that's getting ready to come and touch our ears. Now, before we get any further, let's continue on insecurity. How this affects one to get to a place of pride. Now, we have already broke down what insecurity is. Now, what are the different forms of insecurity? People can find insecurity within a relationship where they feel that at any given time, their partner, their spouse, whatever it be, they can have another interest in another individual. Or there's fears, right? Fears. Remember, insecurity. There's somewhat of a synonymous nature to somewhat of a synonymous word when it comes down to fear. Although fear in itself does not necessarily mean insecurity, but insecurity and fear, in this sense, are related. And along with the insecurity and fear, there's a certain sense of anxiety or an anxiousness. In some cases, it can lead people to go through extreme behaviors, while in others, pain can come. And the pain is an unforeseen pain. This is a pain a pain that no one hurt them. But because of the thoughts, but because of the feelings, because of what they've been meditating on, and meditation is nothing but you focusing your mind on a specific thing. So by them being in a state of being where they are constantly thinking about the bad things that can happen to them, pain is now introduced and produced within their lives. A pain that didn't have to be there. And now what that pain does, along with the insecurity, it gives birth to pride. So now in the case of relationships, since we're speaking on relationships, they can be very difficult with their partner. So difficult to the point where it may cause the relationship that you're in to suffer. And in some cases, in the worst case scenario, this can be the ending of a relationship. And for those who desire to be in a relationship within the future or whatnot, and they're in that state of being of pride, what will happen is relationships may not come about as easy. Or the person would not be willing to make relationships. There'll be a strong sense of mistrust, distrust, things of that nature. There will always be a suspicious type of way to move. And one thing that's very interesting that is a sign that tends to mark those who are moving with pride is, I don't need your help. I don't need nobody. I got this all on my own. I know for sure that in my heart that I've said those statements before. What that means is that in those moments, I was moving with fear. I mean, not fear, but to a certain degree, yes. But to another degree, it's pride. Because that pride was a form of protection. That pride is a form of protection. Why? Because maybe before, one was hurt. When I say one, I speak on anyone. One was hurt. So to protect themselves from being hurt again, a statement as such will be made. I don't need nobody. Why don't you need nobody? The thing is, if we actually begin to examine and probe and ask questions, we'll begin to realize that this is only as a result of what was done to them in the past. So a situation that affected them in the past is now dictating how they are in the present. Pride has caused them to be in a place where they will not receive any help. When in some cases, when you do get help, it will actually be a lot quicker for you to finish. Pride is much more of an enemy to us than we think. Now, I'm sorry for those of us who has been hurt by other people. I apologize. And I understand the feeling. I understand the pain. I understand the hurt that happened as a result